If you have any doubts, just let me know. Okay, today we are going to talk about some tips and techniques, but also, which is the most important, the structure, okay, of to create this, a powerful elevator pitch, convincing, persuasive elevator pitch. So if you have any comments, please let me know if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Okay, I'll be here, like paying attention and reading. You can join me on LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn. The link is in my bio or here on Instagram. Cool. Now, so let's get started. Powerful tips and persuasive techniques. Now, first of all, let me put this bigger so you can read. Okay. So first of all, we have to be sure to state our goals up properly. Okay, let me change the slide. Okay, so we have to state our goals clearly. I mean, we need to be clear. In my case, I said I have professionals improve their English so they can communicate effectively. I don't teach beginners in this case, right? Or I don't teach like just English for traveling or just English for musicians or whatever. It's really specific so they can communicate effectively. So it's about fluency, it's about confidence, you see? So it's really, really specific. Amanda, nice to have you on YouTube. That's great. So are you pitching yourself as a possible employee, or are you making a pitch for selling your company's product? It is important to make a clear outline of your objectives. Okay, what are your objectives? What are you planning to achieve? Okay, so that is the first thing. Then we have create a clear description of your capabilities as an individual or organization. Okay, so as a person, as an individual, or as a company, what are your capabilities? Starting with how your services have previously benefited others in the past can be often, that could be a great way of conveying the value you see that you have as an employee or that you have as a company. And you have to keep in mind that statistics or other, information that can be used to provide positive information. So if you are in the sales industry, so as a salesperson, what are your achievements? Or as a sales company, what are your achievements? What are those numbers? What are those percentages? If you are in marketing, what are those percentages? Okay. Then you have to use open-ended questions. I mean, using open-ended is like what, when, where, etc. Using these open-ended questions is a great way to keep the conversation going, because then the other person is able to answer and then you can ask another question, etc. So the conversation keeps going with a possible employer or client, and then you can go deeper, you see, with the initial pitch. So you can do some kind of a follow-up with that person. You can ask questions about their own elevator, like what is it that they do, what are the benefits, etc. Then, are you able to accurately describe your USP? USP is your unique selling proposition. So what is it that you are offering? What is your true value? So if you're able to describe or to explain what that benefit that you offer is, that's a great elevator pitch. It is going to be effective, you see? So you have to describe how your particular background and your skills make you stand out, how those differences will provide a benefit or will be beneficial for the company, right? So what is it that is different? Okay, what is it that makes you stand out from others? People call it elevator pitch, but I prefer to call it the personal brand statement, because this is who you are as a person. This is how you introduce yourself to others. So having clear what your unique selling position is or proposition is extremely important. So maybe you are an executive assistant. But what makes you different from all the other assistants? Imagine you are in a job interview. We were talking about job interviews yesterday. So imagine you are in a job interview. How are you going to stand out from the other interviewers? Like if there are 20, 15, 30, 100 people in this, application, how are you going to stand out? How are you going to make them remember your name? Okay. So that is the unique selling proposition. That's what you have to tell them about. That's the value that you have to show them. Okay, now, regarding using psychology and persuasive techniques in your elevator. Let me say hi here. Gracias, so nice to have you. Ahmed, so nice to have you. Okay. We have to use business psychology and persuasive techniques, okay, in our elevator pitch. It is important to use proven psychological and persuasive techniques when crafting our elevators, okay? Current research shows that their decision-making process is based on very specific factors and rules of persuasion. Okay, so I truly recommend you this book that is here, The Psychology of Influence of Persuasion. It's really good. It's really interesting, and you can apply this for everything. If you don't want to do the dishes and you want to persuade your partner to do it, you will find some, tools here. So that is really interesting. But we have to use these principles in our elevator pitch, okay? In our short bios, when answering job interview questions, okay? Numerous papers have been published on the most effective means of influence. One of them is this book, okay? So take a look at it, try to find, like on Amazon or Audible or whatever it is possible. If there's anyone here who has read this book, just let us know about it because it's just great. Tell us about your experience reading the book. Great info. Thanks, Gracia. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So that's regarding the influence. Okay, now what about the structure? When you're creating the elevator or any short professional bio or the tell me about yourself question, we have to structure it in a really persuasive way. So we have to call the person's attention, the needs, satisfaction, visualization, and action. I mean, we have to develop all these stages. Now, attention. Getting someone's attention at any type of career-oriented event can be a tricky situation. It is a good idea to begin your elevator pitch with an attention-grabbing statement. So you can be in any kind of situations, and how to start that conversation, how to call the other person's attention is what's going to make the difference. And then we gotta find a way to connect that to the elevator. Right? So obviously it will depend on the context. It will depend on the person you're talking to. It will depend on the industry, it will depend on your purpose, for communicating with that person. So first of all, we have to grab their attention. Then we have to describe how our ideas, our concepts, our values, our skills would meet the needs of that person. Why am I useful to you? Why should you listen to me? What do I have to offer, that is valuable for you? Okay, so we have to let them know, not that they need us, but at least that we're useful. Okay, then we talk about satisfaction. How will the employer or company's specific business needs will be satisfied by what I have to offer? So what is the satisfaction that I will bring you? In my case, I have professionals. You will learn my elevator because I have repeated it so many times. I have professionals improve their English so they can communicate effectively to advance their careers and reach their goals. What is the satisfaction? The satisfaction is that you will, whether find a job at an international company, You will feel confident communicating at work, right? In meetings, in presentations, whatever. You will advance your career. That is satisfaction. You see, you need it, and that is satisfaction. So you've been working in the same company, in the same position for 20 years, and you want to move up, right? So if English, is the barrier, then I can help you communicate effectively. So that's going to be your satisfaction. See what I mean? Obviously, you have to apply these to, like the different industries and the different positions, etc. And then we have visualization. So obviously, you don't have to include everything in just one elevator, but it's just to create the setting, okay? So visualization, you set the scene by presenting a visualization of how your outline solution will meet the listener's goals. You have to allow them to see what would happen if they listen to you, if they hire you, if they work with you, or whatever. Okay, so visualization is amazing because it's like you are making yourself a participant of their lives, of what's going on, of what's happening. You're making it possible for them. See what I mean? Let me check the comments to see if there's any question. Give me a second. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. Awesome. Okay. So visualizing is extremely, extremely important. Okay. What do I need to do when you want to add values or ideas concerned to work, but your coworker or boss don't want to open their mind for suggestions? I mean, obviously that's like another topic. But the point is that if people are not open, I mean, you have to show your true value. Like there's no other option. Sometimes they just don't want to see it, And if they don't want to, there's no way you can change their minds. But this is like when you're asking for a promotion. You have to show them your true value, with numbers, with percentages, with examples, right? With results. That is the only way. But your coworker don't want to open their mind for suggestions. I mean, it's hard when people are not open for suggestions. Maybe you just have to help them visualize. Like imagine just that. Imagine if I can do X, Y, Z for you. Imagine how the company will grow, how our department will improve, or our team will improve, or whatever. So try to help them visualize it. Probably that is going to help. That's one idea. But we can discuss that in the WhatsApp group, like deeper. Okay, so visualization. It is important for you to help the other person visualize the benefits of working with you, of hiring you, right? And then you have action. How would you pitch work in action? Challenge the listener to take action and illustrate their role within the pitch. So you have to summarize how you would fit into this scenario and take the steps outlined in your proposal. And this sounds like to answer your question, Andres. You have to do something about it. So what are the benefits? Try to help them visualize it and try to take some actions so they can see the results. Even if they haven't asked you about it, try to take some actions to help them see the results, of what you gotta offer. Okay. Okay, let me go back. So that's what we have. Okay, you have to call the attention. You have to show them that they need you. You have to show them that they are going to get some satisfaction. You have to make them visualize what is it to work with you. And if it's possible, you have to help them take action, okay, on what they're doing. Now, how do I write an elevator pitch? What is the structure? So listen, an effective elevator is not something that can be blinded crafted, like, 3 words and that's it. It takes time, work, and effort. I've been creating my elevator, and I've created a lot of drafts, and I created a lot of times, and I've changed it and adapted because it's not static. Okay, you evolve, so obviously your elevator has to evolve. While it may seem like a challenge to properly describe your goals and experience in such a short amount of time, focusing on what's relevant is key, right? And I'm going to read that again. Focusing on what's relevant, it's key. Okay, that's what really matters, to focus on what is relevant, what is important. And this is why we were talking about this yesterday too. You can have different elevator pitches. You can have one elevator when you are in a professional setting, like in a conference or in an event, and then you can have a general elevator pitch for people from different industries. You can have a really industry-centered elevator pitch. You can have an elevator pitch for for you as an individual, as a person, as a professional, but you can also have an elevator for your company, the company you work for. So there are many options, there are many possibilities, but you just have to focus on what's relevant. Obviously, I would recommend you to start with one, like your personal elevator. Who are you? What do you do? Why what you do is important for the rest of the world. Okay? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Awesome. As with any skill set, your ability as an effective communicator and public speaker will improve over time with practice and work. Now, at the beginning, I didn't set my elevator pitch as easily and comfortable as I do now. Okay? I had to repeat it several times, and I have to read it and reread it. But the idea is that you can make it sound natural. Okay? Like, I have professionals improve their English so they can communicate effectively and advance their careers. You see, I don't sound like I'm reading, but I had to practice a lot, because even though it's really short, it is easy to sound like you're a robot. See what I mean? So focus. Focus is the most important thing. Okay? I don't hear your voice anymore. Really? Let me know, guys, if you can hear me. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Yes? No? Let me know. How long should an elevator pitch be? That is another interesting question. Yesterday, we said it is 30 seconds or less. Me neither. Oh my God. Let me see. Is it better now? Is it better? Yes? No? Can you hear me? Yes? No? Can you hear me? Let me know. I'm gonna do something here. Yes, I hear you all. Okay. Hello, hello. Can you hear me on Instagram? We can't hear you. Let me check something else here. Okay. So on LinkedIn, you can hear me, but you cannot hear me on Instagram. Let me see if I can check that. Still no. Me neither. Not yet. Okay, now? Can you hear me now? No? Probably is my phone. Let me check. No, I think it's mine, because there are some people saying that they cannot hear me. Let me just go back here. Sorry, LinkedIn people. I'll be back in a sec. I'm just checking. I thought it was me and I disconnected everything. Let me do the same. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know. Okay. Let's do something. I'm going to close and I'm going to restart. Okay? The sound is not working. Okay. I'm going to restart. Hello, hello. So let me restart the live video with the guys on Instagram, and then I'll go back. So as I was saying, how long should an elevator be? Yesterday, we were talking about 30 seconds. Now, it all depends on the purpose, and the intentions that you have. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Aman. CQ. So nice to have you there listening. So as we were saying yesterday, it depends on your interests. Okay, it depends on what is it that you really want to say. What is the real purpose of your communication? The ideal is that it is 30 seconds. Okay, but it is not necessarily, like it should be the same. Okay, so it could be less, right? It could be more. Okay, let me see. I'm going to start the live again. Let's see if I can start the live again on Instagram. So this should be 30 seconds. It could be a little more. Can you hear me? I'm going to start sharing the screen. Effectively communicating a clear and concise picture of yourself and your goals may seem like a challenge. It is a challenge, Hello, can you hear me? Great. Okay, so effectively communicating a clear and concise picture of yourself and your goals may seem like a challenge. It is a challenge, right? So we have to break the pitch down to the most important points you wish to make. This is why you can have different elevators, because you can adapt the elevator to the purpose, okay, of the conversation. Think of several words that represent your skill sets and value as a partner, as an employee, and those are the words that you're going to use in your elevator. This is also called keywords. Okay, so keywords are really important. You have to include keywords in your elevator. You have to include keywords in your resume, right, in your LinkedIn profile, etc. So your elevator should be full of keywords. Okay. Now I'm going to give you an example of how to structure an elevator. This is just an example of a regular, elevator. Okay, so you can start like this. Industry accredited software developer for enterprises, period. That's really specific, right? But what if we add a little more? With 7 years experience developing apps and tools for enterprises. So now it sounds better. Industry accredited software developer with 7 years experience developing apps and tools for enterprises, right? And what if we talk about our goals or our intentions or our purposes? Then we have industry accredited software developer with 7 years experience developing apps and tools for enterprises. I'm now looking to develop my strong team building skills in an environment where technical innovation is vital for business success. He's looking for a job as a manager, right? That's obvious, or at least a head of department, you see? Now, this is really complete. There's a lot of information here. I'm going to detail the information, but that is the general structure, you see? Let me go back here. So the blue part is like I am an industry accredited software developer for enterprises. Okay, software developer, not for anyone, it's just for enterprises, right? So in the blue one, the first part, you have to sum up what you do. Ideally, with some sort of credential or proof point attached. For example, industry accredited, highly experienced, bilingual, etc. Especially bilingual, that is important. Then in green, you have with why. In this case, 7 years experience, 10 years experience, etc. Relates to your experience and the sort of value that you offer. For example, with 5 years of experience in negotiating, okay? And the last part, orange, that last part is what you're looking for next. Again, ideally also framed as a benefit to your potential audience, okay? For example, looking to translate my proven business development skills into effective fundraising activities, etc. So what is your intention? Why are you here? Why are you talking to me? Okay, so we have the first, who you are. The second, like, what is it that you do? What is the experience? What is it that you have to offer? And the last one, what are your goals? What are your intentions? What are your purposes, etc. Now, let's take a look at another example. Let me see. Okay, look at this. International digital marketing specialist. That's who you are. That is the first part. Okay, the second, who's launched over 20 websites in 10 languages across 12 countries. That is evident. That is your value proposition. You see, that is the benefit, right? So if you're going to hire a person like this, a marketing specialist, 20 websites, 10 languages, 12 countries, I mean, that's great. That's interesting. Okay. And finally, now looking for an exciting opportunity to combine my technical and creative marketing capabilities, ideally in the e-commerce or B2B space. This is my intention. This is what I want to get. Okay. Now, guys, this is a really common and regular standard way to create an elevator pitch. Now, you can use storytelling for this, right? And it will be even better. Okay, you can create your own story. You can organize it in the same way, but just as if you're telling the story. Okay, and that's much, much better. It's easier for the other person to remember who you are if it is a story, right? Now, let me look for another example. Let me know if you have any questions. We're almost finishing, so if there's any doubts, just write them in the comments, and I'm ready to answer. Okay, no questions here, and I am watching in YouTube. Here, everything is fine. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yadira, so nice to have you. Okay, now look at this example. Frequently headhunted international trade consultant and tech sector specialist. That's who he is, right? His profession, his occupation, his responsibilities, etc. So, frequently headhunted international trade consultant and tech sector specialist. Okay, that's everything this person does. All right. And then we go deeper. With 8 years experience in tech policy and international business development and strategy in the UK, US, and New Zealand. Ready for a new challenge as a C-level commercial advisor to a high-growth tech company. Okay, so in blue, you have what he does. Then in green, you have what he has to offer. 8 years of experience, international businesses development in the UK, in the US, in New Zealand. Okay, and finally, you have the goals and what is it that this person wants to achieve. Ready for a new challenge as a C-level commercial advisor to a high-growth tech company. Okay, that's what he wants. That's what he or she is looking for. Okay, so that's their goal. Any questions? I can hear you. Awesome. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions. Thank you so much for joining today. Yadira, I can see you. Okay. And finally, let me share with you the last example. Now, remember that you can join the WhatsApp group and you can share with us your elevators and we can give you feedback, like what works, what doesn't work, okay? Now, look at this one. Experienced business developer for the Asia Pacific healthcare space. What? That is specific. Who's all about helping to enable new models of integrated and coordinated care. Again, who's all about helping to enable new models of integrated and coordinated care. What does he want? Looking for a provider who shares my vision of a society where an individual will receive personalized care which incorporates the different dimensions that are central to an individual's wellness. That is specific, right? So now this one is different because this person is looking for an associate, you see? So the structure is the same, but the message is different. So he's not looking to work in a company or for a company. He's looking for a provider, right? Who shares my vision of a society, etc. Now, obviously, this is a filter because maybe you are a provider, but you don't share this vision. So if you don't share the vision, you cannot work with this person. Okay? Awesome. Let me check. Any questions? Why are you so quiet? Are you there? No? Sleeping? So these are the examples that I got today, loud and clear. Awesome. So these are the 3 examples that I got today. Think about yours. Okay, let's try to focus on just one elevator. Okay, so I'm going to come tomorrow, and tomorrow we are going to discuss more examples, and we are going to work on the structure again, and you can share with me your examples. Okay, what about if we have experience in different fields? Then you can create different elevators for different fields, because the point is that if imagine I am an executive assistant, right? And my elevator is centered on being an executive assistant. Okay, that's what I want to share. That's what I want them to know about me. But I'm also, a math teacher, for example. Now, if in my elevator I say that I'm an executive assistant and also a math teacher, it makes no sense, right? So if I'm pitching to a school, being a math teacher is great, but being an executive assistant is useless, and vice versa. If I'm talking to the headhunter or general manager of a company, and I tell them I'm an executive assistant and also a math teacher, they will be like, so what? This is why relevance is so important. Okay, relevance is extremely important. So you have to filter what is relevant, what is important, what is necessary for them to know about me. Okay, now in my case, obviously I teach grammar, obviously I teach pronunciation, obviously I have to know an intermediate course, and we have a membership, and we have a lot of things. But in my elevator, I don't say I'm an English teacher and I help professionals improve their English. So we study grammar and pronunciation, and we check the conditionals, and we check this and that, because that's not relevant. You see? So I help them with, that's what matters. What is the value proposition that you have? If you work in different industries or in different fields or in different areas, or you have worked in different departments or different positions, you have to adapt the elevator to the situation. If it is a job interview, you have to adapt your elevator to the job description, right? If it is in a conference, you have to adapt the elevator to that conference, to the people that is there, to the situation, So the more specific, the better. It's like you have to niche, down into what is more important, into what's relevant to the person who's listening to you. Is that okay, Victoria? Or do you have another question? Anyways, if you have experience in different fields, that was the question. From all that experience that you have, what is relevant for this person to listen to? So if it is an interview, then based on the job description, what is relevant? From all the experience that you have in the different fields, which of that experience, what aspects of that experience is relevant for that job? right? But try to DM me and try to join the WhatsApp group so you can practice with us and we can help you with that. Yes, I got it. Awesome. Lots of experience. I want to strong my English. Practice. I mean, there's nothing else. If you want to strong your English, if you want to improve your English, then you have to practice. Okay, there's nothing else. Now, the last part, and this is one of the most important, believe it or not. Let me see. Okay, ending your elevator. Oh, can you read that? I hope you can read it. Okay, ending your elevator pitch. So you have to close your speech with a positive statement. Okay, no matter what the conversation is, no matter who the person is, no matter your professional, emotional, personal situation is, you have to finish the elevator with a positive statement, you know? It is a good idea to end your elevator by making a clear statement on your future goals, on what you wish to achieve. How does the listener fit into these goals? You can also mention that you have achieved what you have achieved and how your future endeavors will build on those accomplishments. Future, positive future, you know? It's like you cannot finish the elevator like, well, but I don't think I have the capabilities. I don't think I have the skills for doing this and that. Those are my goals, you know, but I don't think I have the skills for that. I have to continue studying. I mean, no, right? If you want to show confidence, then you got to finish your elevator with a positive statement, okay? In all the previous examples, there were positive statements. Okay, so think about that. What are your goals? What are the things that you want to reach? Okay, what are your interests? Maybe not your goals, but your interests. I want to continue learning about blah, blah, blah. Or I want to move up in the company or blah, blah. Okay, but it should be a positive statement. Let me check. This elevator is for a resume and for an interview is different. Well, it depends. If it is the same job offer, it could be the same. Okay, if it is for the same job offer, it could be the same. The elevator can be the same for the resume and the same for the job interview. It could be the same. But if you write something in your resume and then you're applying for 3 different positions in 3 different industries or fields, then in the interview, you have to create different elevators. I mean, the ideal, that is the ideal, is that you need to have one elevator per situation. So if you're applying in, I don't know, 3 different companies, you should kind of create, I know it takes time, but the idea is that you can kind of create one elevator per job offer, you see, because the more adapted or tailored the elevator pitch is, the better, the best, because it is easier for the person to understand the value that you have to offer. Okay, so you can have one that is kind of general, okay, a general elevator, or you can have different elevators specific for each situation, for each, you know, job offer, for each position. So it all depends on you, but you can have a general one. You can start with a general elevator, and then based on the situations and what's going on, you start creating, you know, similar elevators. Still I'm practicing, but I don't have enough vocabulary. So anyway, to make it easy to learn more and more vocabulary, you have to focus on what kind of vocabulary do you want to learn. What is it that you want to communicate? What are the ideas that you want to share? So is it something like this, like business vocabulary? Then try to look for content that is related to business and try to start adapting that vocabulary. Try to create small communities in which people are interested in the same topic so you can practice with them. You see? But yeah, vocabulary, it is easier to learn vocabulary if you're focused. You know, if you're focused on a specific content, right? Area of expertise, etc. And then obviously putting it into practice, because you can have a list of 100 words, but if you don't use them, then, you won't learn. You won't learn them. Okay, let me just go back to this slide. Excellent. Well, I don't see any questions here, my friends. Thank you so much, Anzine, for participating. Victoria, Fatima, so nice to have you. If you guys have any questions apart from the ones that you have shared here, let me know. Okay. Tomorrow, we are going to have more examples, and you can send me your elevators or the ideas that you have, and I can check and give you feedback. You clear my mind. That's the idea. Thanks to you. So yeah, just let me know. Try to brainstorm. Try to create a general elevator, Victoria. Okay? Do not focus on different things. Just try to create a general elevator and brainstorm. What are those things? Remember the keywords? What are those ideas that I really want to transmit? What are the things that I really want them to know about me? What is relevant? What is the value that I have to offer? Okay? And then you share it with me and we'll give you feedback. Okay? Awesome. Great. Well, everyone, I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. If you have any questions, let me know. And brainstorming. Yeah, brainstorming. Just write ideas. What are the things? And look at this. That is a nice exercise, but I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. And is look for other people on LinkedIn. I mean, other professionals in your same area or industry. Look for them on LinkedIn and read their bios and read their profiles and read their about section and try to get vocabulary and ideas from there. Okay, that's really useful. I always tell my students to do that, because and try to look for people who are in Australia or New Zealand or Canada or the States, which, I mean, their profiles are in English, so you can get a lot of keywords from their profiles. Okay, so anyways, I will talk a little more about that tomorrow. Okay, but that is a good exercise to start brainstorming. Awesome. So, well, everyone, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you again tomorrow. And if you have any questions, let me know. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a good one. Take care. Bye. Thank you.